for just a few breaths. We'll break up the om into sounds of ah, ooh, and to move the vibrations of sound from the bottom of our skull behind our jaw to then behind our eyes. Moving forward still with the we might feel the vibration in our face and around our mouths and cheeks and between our teeth. Something to pay attention to as you make these sounds with me now. You might choose to inhale, fill up, preparing to sing. Exhale, ah. Nice work. Let that fizzle out. Inhale as you're ready. Fill up again, preparing to sing. Ooh. Nice. Let that fizzle too, noticing any change in the sound or vibration or sensation, maybe noticing the slowness of your breath. We'll fill up again, once more preparing to sing. Inhale. Humming this time. Nice. Maybe noticing the vibration between your teeth as you let that last breath kind of resonate. And if you choose, you can put all three together with me now with one big breath, maybe reaching out to fill up. Oh. Nice. Take what you leave. What am I trying to say? Take what you need, leave what you don't, and you're invited to come along for more if you're ready. At your ease, you might allow your hands to rest in your lap or at your sides as you breathe in again and think tall thoughts. Maybe begin drawing small circles with your nose, creating some round movements with the skull, rolling out the neck a bit. You could make these circles go the other direction. Maybe drawing kind of a spiral. The circles could get bigger as you go. Nice. Continue however you may. As you're ready, you might choose to look towards your lap, bringing your chin towards your chest. And imagine a pendulum swinging from your nose as you look from left to right. Maybe continuing drawing circles with your chin now, looking up, looking to the side and looking down, maybe a couple more times. Changing directions as you're ready, inhaling maybe to look up. Maybe exhaling to look down. Nice work. You can continue here as long as you'd like, or meet me on your back on your mat as you're ready. Have a block handy, within reach, perhaps. Bending at the knees, you can plant both feet on the mat as you roll down and back. Allow yourself a moment to notice what flat feels like. You might arrange your body a bit, maybe drawing shoulder blades towards each other on your back. Kind of broadening the chest, tucking those shoulder blades underneath you, like putting them in pockets. You could walk your footprints toward your seat. Maybe your fingertips dust the backs of your heels for just a little awareness of where those feet are placed. You could drive the pinky edge of both hands into the mat, lighting up the arms, maybe so much that your spine feels ready to lift from the mat. From here, with this activation, press into both feet as you lift your hips first, maybe inhaling, creating a bit of a wave in the spine. We'll reverse this movement, undulating one vertebrae at a time and setting the hips down last. Continue at your pace, maybe pairing your breath with the movement. Inhaling, lift your hips first, coming up to your shoulders, and then lowering your spine like a string of pearls, setting it down on the mat, hips last. As you inhale, you might rock your hips forward, making space between your lumbar and the mat, and then pressing into your heels, lift your pelvis. You might look at your belly as you draw a breath in here, watch it inflate. Exhale, watch it deflate as your spine grows heavy towards the mat. You could continue this way, maybe choosing to place a block underneath your hips for support if you'd like to stay in bridge pose. You can place it on any height, low, medium, or high. And this is enough. You can just allow the pose to work its magic here, allowing the drainage of lymph. This is good for the thyroid and adrenal system, for the hips to be lifted above the heart. If you're ready for some core warmth and work, you might lift your hips and remove the block. And lower your spine to the mat again. If you like having a block for support, you could choose to place it on maybe its lowest setting between both long femur bones. You can squeeze the block with both knees and press into the mat with both feet, just noticing this connection and work. From here, you might again drive the pinky edges of your hands, maybe with soft fists, into the mat, activating the long backs of your arms, gluing your spine to the mat with the strength of your core as you lift one foot away towards the ceiling, maybe flexing toes towards your face. Slowly lowering the foot, we'll begin to march, inhaling to lift one foot, exhaling to ground and switch sides, and beginning to find your pace for this slow march, maintaining the connection with the mat and the spine. Pressing both knees towards the midline, flexing toes towards the face on the lifted foot. Nice. This is good work. Maybe 10 more times each side. Maybe 5 times. You might determine based on your pace. All right, when you're ready, place both feet on the mat. Take your block if you're using one. You might choose to press your block between both hands, just squeezing your palms towards the block in center as you lift it above your chest. You can also just reach up with both hands and imagine resisting magnets as you bring them towards each other, but also resist in center, if that makes sense. From here, we'll lift one foot and then the other, still noticing that connection of the spine on the mat, flexing toes towards the face. Legs are long and reaching skyward with the footprints. From here, we're just going to lift the block towards our feet. Lift our hands towards our feet. So inhale where you are. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lift. Maybe do this 10 times. Bringing the shoulder blades away from the mat. Still flexing the toes towards the face, activating the legs. Nice. All right. You can place your block on the floor if you're using one. Maybe place your hands on the mat, driving those fists or pinky edges of your hands into the mat for extra support. Now we're going to just lift our feet with as little swing towards the face as possible, but I know that some will happen. So I ask for your grace as you watch me do it, and also give yourself grace as you build this strength with me. All right, continue breathing as we try for 10 lifts. Ready, go. So driving the hands into the mat. There's a little bit of a rocking with the feet in the air. And aiming to lift the hips up off the mat using different belly muscles than we did to lift the block. All right, good work. If you'd like, you can bring your block along. Again, placing it on the lowest setting between both long thigh bones. Coming up to seated, you can use your hands to kind of find about a 45-degree angle with your body, so with your upper body. And we're going to aim for a flat back here. So maybe you just have good awareness and you can kind of notice the tilt of your pelvis as you get situated here. We'll keep both footprints on the mat in front of us again with knees bent. And while we're getting situated, as you can see, the shins make a nice handle for support as we kind of take stock of our midsection and prepare for good spinal support for this work. One option could be to bring one hand to your belly and one to your lumbar and just notice any flexion towards posterior or anterior plane, aiming for a straight back as much as possible, indicating that we have the transverse abdominis, that corset muscle just zipped up around our spine. Another option, if you have a block, is to bring it to your back for feedback so that you can notice the flatness of your spine. Or just kind of hold on to that with your hands. All right, from here, we're going to start to do a little bit of work as we lean back at this 45-degree angle. Squeeze the block if you're practicing with one between your knees. And we'll do that same marching motion from before. This is good practice for boat pose. I'm just doing some mindful, intentional work here to warm up the left side and the right side while using our core to support our whole structure. A bit of centering as we also reach out beyond ourselves a bit. Might notice some shaking and quivering. Continue to breathe. Make this your last cycle. Good job. You can sit up, set blocks aside if you're practicing with them. Take any stretches that feel good. And as you're ready, I'll invite you to join me lying face down on the mat, or prone as we call it. And from here, we invite you to come up onto your elbows. Let your palms face down towards the floor, letting your whole handprints take up space and spread out wide on the mat. You can point your toes and press the tops of your feet into the mat. And begin to notice your belly as it inflates against the floor. Maybe noticing the warmth of the belly after doing that strong core work. And only come up onto the elbows if your back is ready for this. If this is too much of a back bend too early in the class, don't do it. Listen to your body. We're just checking in with the sensations of the belly on the floor, offering soothing to our internal organs and vagus nerve after that strong work. Another option could be to stack your hands and rest your forehead there. You can stay where you are, or maybe reach back as you kick an ankle towards your hip. Maybe your hand catches that ankle, offering a stretch for the quad muscle. You could choose to reach back with that ankle, maybe peeling your chest off the mat a bit as it brings that arm back with it. And release that foot if you've taken it. You could switch sides with your hands, preparing to reach back on the other side as you bring the ankle towards the hips. If you have a waist belt or an old necktie, you could also use something like that to lasso your foot if you need a little extra handle if you want to tie this again later. Also, a hand towel works great. Just grab a towel from the bathroom, you can sling it around your ankle, and then you've got a little handle. But make this yours. If you've caught your foot, you might choose to kick it back, maybe bringing the arm with it, peeling the sternum away from the mat. Lowering again. You could stay where you are or frame your shoulders, bringing your handprints on either side of your chest, maybe just beneath your shoulders or just outside. Pressing into the tops of both feet. Can you lift the back of your head away from the mat any amount? Maybe inhaling, growing buoyant. Exhaling, peeling down. Let's do that 3 more times, growing our baby cobra from the ground up. Inhale to lift. Maybe notice your belly pressing into the floor. Imagine drawing your elbows towards each other behind you. Squeeze your shoulder blades together as well. Can you hover your hands above the mat, letting the lift come from your back muscles, not from your arms? And exhale as you're ready to peel down, bring your nose close to the mat. One more time, press into the tops of your feet. Lift away from the mat with your sternum. You could use your hands a tiny bit as you imagine picking up your belly button and moving it forward on the mat, maybe just a millimeter, maybe just half an inch. And as you're ready, peel down to the mat. Option again to reach back, maybe catch one ankle, maybe stretch that quad. You could press your foot towards the sky, lifting the thigh away from the mat. Bring your foot to the floor to switch sides. Reaching back with the other hand, maybe to catch the ankle, to stretch the thigh. Maybe lifting the thigh away from the mat as the footprint reaches towards the sky. Nice work.